Hi darlings, this is Sewing Julie and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very interesting video for you prepared on top 10 cool sewing gadgets. Now some of these tools you might know, but some of them were so unique that I didn't even know they existed before preparing for this video. So this top 10 is in no particular order. I think all of these tools are very useful, but I did place in top 2 and top 1 my ultimate favorite tools, so you will have to stick to the end of the video to see which ones are those tools. Also, before jumping further into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor of the video, Hemline, and I will talk a bit later in the video about this amazing brand and what products they offer. So moving along to the video, I have all of these gadgets prepared right next to me, so let's start our top 10. Now in top 10 position, I placed this pink cushion, which is great tool, and you've seen this already in my previous video. So you basically can stick this to any kind of surface and just pin your pins while you're sewing. I personally love to pin it on my overlock, and when I'm sewing with overlock, I just simply remove the pin and put it right here. So basically, because of the suction cup, you can place this on any kind of surface and it will stick to the place. Now in top 9 place we have seam guide tape. Now this is amazing for the beginners, and if you are not really comfortable with how straight your seams are, this is a great thing to have. So basically you just glue this tape before your sewing foot, and this allows you to position the fabric before it hits the needle and get that straight seam results every single time. Continuing with our top 10 list, we have a bulky seam aid. So if you ever had to sew through very bulky seams, like for example jeans, you do know that once the machine foot hits that bulk, it sometimes might not even go on top, or it can skip stitches, etc., and the results are not very great. However, this little handy device helps solve this problem because it elevates the foot before it hits that bulk, so you are able to stitch through with nice beautiful stitches and without skipping any of them. Now this next little gadget is helpful for the quilters in particular, or if you're working with very slippery fabrics. So when you're putting the ruler on top, you do know that the ruler can slip or make the fabric slip underneath. So when you're putting these little stickers called fabric grips on the corners of your ruler, you're making sure that the ruler stays on top of the fabric and does not slip. Little tool, but it does solve that annoying little problem. So in top 6 position, we have this loop turner and elastic guide. Now, I would say this is definitely a must-have in your toolbox because it helps you turn those long tubes, or if you have to push through elastic gum thread or something like that, this will help you to do that. It's fantastic, and if you like creating sportswear, for example, this is an amazing tool. Also, if you do work a lot with having to turn the tubes inside out, I do recommend having this item because it is fantastic and it does the work. Also, it comes in a few different sizes, so no matter how thick or thin the loop you're working with, you will find the right size in this package. So now we're in the middle of our top 10 list, and it's time to talk about our sponsor of the video, Hemline. So Hemline might be a known brand for some of you because they have been sponsoring this channel in the past, and I love their quality, and I love that they provide a huge variety of different tools with affordable prices, but the quality is always great. So Hemline was founded in 1986, and they quickly expanded through the world because they do offer very affordable prices, good quality, and amazingly wide range of different products covering any kind of sewing task that you have on hand. Hemline started out with 80 products in their assortment. However, they very quickly expanded and they currently have over 1,000 different products for sewers and crafters. So no matter what kind of task you have on hand, I am sure you will find a right tool in hemline assortment to fit your needs. Hemline products can be found everywhere around the world, and I will put a link down below to their website so that you can see their entire range. Also, I will link every single item that I talk about here in this video also in the description box down below so that you can quickly find it and check it out. Also, one more thing that I have to mention about Hemline is that by buying their products, you're also supporting SewAid program, which is created to help women in developing countries to learn the sewing as a trade and start their businesses, and they're providing the women with the skill sets they need and also the equipment. The program is amazing, and if you want to learn more about it and how you can help this program develop even further, I will add the link down below. Okay, so moving on with our top 10 list, we're in the middle and we have a top 5 position. So in the top 5 position, I placed this thread cutting ring. Now this ring is very handy when it comes to quickly cutting those threads or yarn. So no matter what task you're doing, this little helper will help you just simply get rid of that yarn. So this rubber ring will fit any kind of finger, so you can place it on any kind of finger that you feel comfortable working with. If you're doing a lot of hand sewing, knitting or something like that, this is a very great tool to have because you can quickly cut through threads and without having to reach for those snappers or reach for those scissors. So in top 4 position, I placed this seam fix tool. So this is one of those tools that I didn't know existed, but I was really surprised how handy it can be. So basically what it is, one edge is the seam ripper, which is of course a standard thing that probably every one of us have in their sewing toolbox. However, the whole magic comes from the second edge because it is a rubber head that helps you remove those loose threads once you rip them with the seam ripper. Now, I don't know how about you, but when I use the seam ripper, this is the most annoying task to get out later, all those loose little threads. I usually remove it by hand, but it's really annoying, and if you're working with long stitches, that can take a lot of time. So having this tool solves this problem, and it's really quick, really neat solution. Now in top 3, I put a smaller version of the same tool because if you don't want to have a bigger tool, this one is a great option. Also, if you're working in smaller spaces, having a smaller tool is much more convenient. So basically it does the same function as the previous product, which is one side is a seam ripper and the other side is a rubber that helps you remove those loose threads. So in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that number 2 and number 1 are my favorite tools, and here is the number 2 position. This is a sewer's extra finger. Now, my friends, when I was preparing for this video, I learned about this tool and it's lifesaver. So in particular, for me, it's extra helpful when I'm doing ironing with my steam iron and I need to fold something and hold and then press it. So this is the very annoying thing for me because sometimes I do get burned with the steams because I'm working so close to the hot iron and close to steams. However, when I'm using this extra finger, it gives me that distance and I don't get burned. So this is fantastic for me and it solves my very big problem. But also you can use it in other places, not only ironing. For example, when you're sewing with your sewing machine and you need to like fold something close to the foot and you don't want to use your own finger because you are at the risk of running the needle through your finger, this is a great tool to have for this case, and you just simply use it instead of your finger. And we finally reached the top 1 position. So this item is a must have for every kind of seamstress. It does help solve the annoying problem of button placement. So this is the expandable sewing gog. So how this expandable sewing gog works? The principle is very simple. You just simply expand it to the distance that you need and it divides it into equal parts. So if you're working with buttons and, for example, you're creating a shirt and you want to make sure that all the buttons are equally separated, this tool is a must-have. Also, if, for example, you're doing quilting, shirring, tucking, or whatever, this can help as well, and it's very easy to use. I personally do recommend you to have this tool in your toolbox because it will come in handy sometime in your sewing life. Really great tool, and I do recommend having it. I personally will use it a lot. So here are all top 10 cool sewing gadgets that I wanted to show you today, and I hope at least some of these tools you found very interesting, because I am definitely using some of them on a regular basis and I find them very practical and very useful. Again, I will link every single item down below, and I want to thank again Hemline for sponsoring this video and providing products for the review. I will link Hemline and Sew8 websites down in the description box if you want to learn more about them. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful creative week ahead. Bye!